a chiropractor too. I gotta go.
No problems at all. So now she's like in a bikini, so let's get, we'll slap her up to sunscreen. Once she's in the pool, they said there's a lot of people that smell that way. Something about not being in water, because that drives you or in water. For keeping skin and everything clears it up. It's good.
Morning. How are you all?
Good, and you?
Good. All right, I'm printing off.
Next
I wasn't sure if you guys had the bids or not, so I printed off several different copies for everybody. You want a copy?
I'm
You
good.
need one? And you have copies of you need. Okay.
I'm good. I can look over your shoulder.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Megan Hawks from Nextech, and this is my sales engineer, Darren.
Hi,
I'm going to let him do most of the talking because he's the engineer behind it, so he knows what he's talking about better than I would.
Do you guys have any questions to start, or do you want me to give you kind of an overview of what we did?
Carry into it.
Okay. We'd gotten a little bit of information based on a configuration that I think AT&T had done for you guys a while back. So what we put together was kind of an apples to apples based on that configuration, just so that if it did come to commissioners or it did come to bid, we would have two exact things to compare with each other. So,
And that's the first bid on top in your folder.
so the one that says competitive quote is an apples to apples with that original AT&T quote. Without getting too granular into the configuration or the design and specifics of the equipment, it really wasn't a config that we recommended. There was a lot of unnecessary things in there. That was it doesn't follow the same design principles that Nextech executes on our voice opportunities. So what we did is we put a competitive quote together, and then we put together one based on my recommendation. So the quote that has the digital phone quote labeled to it is the one that I designed based on what I recommended.
Which is the third sheet in there.
And so basically the goal was, or the thought process was to maybe not have quite as aggressive a design on the phone system, and the thought was to maybe save some of that capital or that cap room to make some much needed network upgrades within the courthouse. The competitive quote has both some networking and some voice elements in it. I wanted to scale back the network piece and address it separately. So the idea was between, what we could maybe save on the phone quote coupled with the phone service, local and long distance quote savings that we're trying to look at doing, that maybe we could take and throw some resources at the network upgrade and have everything done instead of just the phones. So.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that we uncovered. We came a couple of times and did walkthroughs with both engineers and just found that even with internet, speeds going up or things like that, you're not going to feel the difference in those upgrades with the current infrastructure that you have. So, we want to take some of that extra capital that you guys have instead of, kind of masking it and saying, okay, here's your phone system, but that doesn't really solve the true issue at hand, which is your infrastructure. So we want to be able to put some dollars toward that. And that way, when you make those upgrades to your internet speeds, that you're actually going to feel that, throughout the whole place. The other sheet in there, too, is for firewalls. You guys need a new firewall here in the courthouse. So that was the middle sheet. That's just a one-sheeter. So we had two different ones priced out on there. For the courthouse, we would do a 300 meg that goes up to 60 users. That would eliminate, because there are a couple departments that have their own firewalls right now that are having to pay for that, and everyone would be able to run off of just that one firewall on the network that way. And then the other one was at the EMS building, right, that's up on the highway, which could be done on a smaller one. So that one's pretty plain and simple. One of the options, too, on our recommended bid, which is the third one that had the digital phone, you have a couple options on it. You can do an outright purchase if you guys, have funds set aside and want to do it that way. But we offer kind of a unique offering that's called a TAS agreement, where you guys are going to be saving quite a big chunk of money, I think, on your long distance. You can roll these into a monthly number. versus just an outright purchase, that if you want to take more of that capital and invest it into more network upgrades, you can always put it on a monthly. Darren, do you remember what what the monthly?
Yeah, it's on page,
Page
2
2.
of 3. And what we've got is there's an outright purchase price, and then the second line item from the bottom where it says protection plus maintenance. We can do a 60-month labor and hardware warranty on the system for $94.50 a month, and that's optional. And then if you do the whole thing just in the as a service, there's no capital, and it's $864 a month on a 60-month agreement.
And do you want to explain what all is included on the
Yeah, the
total
way
voice?
the reason we started our monthly or our hardware as a service offering is because I've been doing phone systems out in this part of the country for 22 years, and we got to a point where we had a lot of equipment out there that was really getting old. I mean, we had a lot of banks, businesses, hospitals that were hanging on to those phone systems to the point where we couldn't get parts for them. We had kind of went through a generation of technicians that didn't come up working on those systems, and these young kids didn't know how to program. So we knew that financially not every business had the capital to throw at new phones. So we created this monthly program where we kind of amortize that cost out over a 60-month period and turn that into basically an operating expense as opposed to a CapEx type expense. And it really allowed us to, probably at this point, maybe 65 to 70% of the systems that we place go on the monthly instead of purchase capital. Because what it does, it protects you guys from having to do a capital purchase. It comes with the warranty, it comes with labor off, travel off, everything's included. So you know for the next 5 years, unless you buy something, that's what your expenses are going to be. So it makes it real nice to budget. At the end of the agreement, we have some refresh and upgrade options, and we'll take back the old hardware, put in the new stuff, keep right on going. A lot of times those costs go down at the end of the 60 months because as technology gets better, it gets cheaper, just like a PC or a laptop. So we've got, I think, Rollins is doing monthly, Phillips County's doing monthly, Norton County, I'm wanting to say Graham, Ellis County, with pretty much every county around. We're quoting Decatur right now, and then I think we're getting Osborne County signed today. So most of the counties are going monthly, and most of the counties are going with this system. The other thing that is kind of an important element is with the next gen 911 stuff that I think you guys have probably heard about before. With this system, we've got some interoperability with next gen 911. So if we need to the point where we can pass calls, transfer calls from the courthouse to them and back, we have those tie-ins. I've been working with the next gen 911 people for several years now, and so we've kind of got this down to the science. So it's kind of I hate to say it's what everybody else is doing, but it's kind of what a lot of the counties are doing.
Well, questions, I guess, do you guys have for us, or
What?
what questions? Do you guys have any questions or concerns?
I think the biggest difference between the two quotes that I see is Eagle's bringing the fiber. They're not.
Okay.
So if that kind of helps you put it in perspective.
So the monthly cost that we're talking about between the two, pretty much the same service offering there?
The a la carte that Marty talked about for the firewall services was not included in their quote.
Okay, and this does include the
It doesn't
firewall.
include it, but they have it in front
Yeah,
of
we
us.
have it in front
Got
of
it,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we're gonna need to consider above and beyond us addressing the phone issues we have right now is firewall.
Yeah.
Which has not been properly addressed.
No.
Okay. But that's a separate issue than what they're really considering today.
I would feel very vulnerable to put in that kind of a system and not have a firewall in place, though.
Okay, but the quote that we got from Eagle does not
Right.
include. Okay, just want to
I
make sure
just,
everyone's on the same page.
just as long as we don't put this system in not wanting to have a firewall.
Right,
That-
with the
that-
understanding that there's going to be an additional cost
Yes.
that we have to make a firewall decision shortly after we make this decision.
Exactly.
Is this the additional cost here?
Yes.
Yes. The
Well,
Yeah.
the 300 number would be
Explain
in this
the
building,
breakdown.
and the 100 meg, 30 user would be up to
30
200.
users.
So 308, here's your monthly right here. Your total monthly for the firewall is 308. And that includes firewalls the same. It includes the install, the maintenance, the monitoring to make sure that your firewall is working. I just think the biggest advantage we have, I mean, you named almost every county in Northwest Kansas, that, you know, these old buildings are not like a normal building. I mean, with all of the, you know, the walls the way they are on the brick and all those things, that I think that's what we bring to the table that nobody else does, is that we have years and years of experience working, you know, with that. And like the cabling, you know, that's not going to be an easy thing to tackle in this type of building, but we do it every day. I mean, that's, you know, everyone has trusted us to do that in all of these counties around. And I think, if anything, our experience and our knowledge and knowing that, you know, we include that maintenance and, you know, the install, and, you know, if something's wrong, you know, that's our job. And if the equipment fails in that period, we replace it. I mean, those are things that we bring to the table that I think are a huge advantage.
And not to get too overly technical, but I think the most important thing to look at when you're talking about your voice network and your phone equipment and your computer data network, really for what the approach that we take is with city, county, municipalities, with hospitals, with education, law enforcement, we really kind of up the bar with those institutions. Those are really your core anchor, and things have to work well, and they have to work all the time. So not to, you know, really dive into anything that Eagle's doing or promoting or presenting, but our model is keeping that voice network and that data network completely and absolutely separate. I know with Eagle and some of the competitors that do what they call maybe a hosted PBX or hosted type offering,
Cloud.
they're what we call an over-the-top solution. So they're going to bring that in over the top of an internet connection, and it's all one big happy family. And we're a phone company, and we don't do things that way. So in our model, if the internet has a problem, if your network has a problem, if you lose a switch in the back closet, you still have phones, and vice versa. If something happens with phone service, you still have internet. And when you're dealing with the tie-in to 911 and some of those things, you need professional grade equipment, and that's what this is.
So that's the main difference between Nextech and Eagle, is the difference between the VoIP service with them and more of a traditional phone service with Nextech. I like to oversimplify
That's
things so
fine.
that I understand.
It makes, with technology, it's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with their proposal, AT&T provides the internet connection to the building.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, correct me.
And the SIP trunk for phone service.
Yes, and the SIP trunks. They take from the SIP trunks, they take it. The internet, they don't take it. The internet would stay the same.
Okay.
Is that-
But we would install the firewalls on your new internet
Yes.
connections and make those things work. So,
Got it.
Okay.
but yeah, we meet with a lot of boards and a lot of county commissioners, and I know based on your guys' background, it probably looks like Greek and it's nasty and kind of hard to wrap your head around. But like I say, we can give you other counties to call on, check with them, talk to them. But we do a hosted type solution as well, but we would never do it in an environment like this. It's just, if it was a bank or, you know, an insurance agent, yeah, it'd probably be okay. But really, there needs to be you guys in the hospital and the school, it needs to be another level. So.
Well, especially it seems like out here, just with all my clients I work with in St. Francis, it seems like internet in general is not as reliable in this area as it is in others. I mean, I see on Facebook all the time people commenting, and when I'm with my clients, they're saying my internet was down again. I keep getting texts on my phone that my security's down, which means my internet's down. So I think that was one of our big reasons too, was knowing that we don't have, you know, that secure, you know, feeling of, okay, if we put in a hosted system or cloud system over your internet, that, like you said, you have to have phones. You absolutely 100% have to have phones, because when something is wrong and everyone else's goes out, you're the people that they're probably going to be asking. So, you know, I think that's super important.
Okay.
But
Do you guys have any questions?
I have a question on your total monthly cost here of $1,165. Does that include this, or is this an addition?
that 1165 is the competitive. That was the apples to apples quote. The one that we're recommending was 800. Let's see. I almost didn't even print the apples to apples because it's not what
Yeah,
we're recommending, but
Okay.
yeah, it's A64. So that is separate. The firewall is treated as a completely separate line item. So this is your total voice, and does that include service and phones, right? Or I mean,
Well,
not their services are AT&T.
right.
This is the total voice that has your
This is
install,
the-
your
This is the quote that compared to AT&T's
Okay.
original quote.
yep. Sorry, yep.
It's not the one that we recommend, but.
Yeah. So yeah, the
Oh, so this
864.
is
This is-
separate from this?
Yes, this is
Yes.
the real deal. That was just a comparison model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just in case you wanted an apples to apples comparison. So the firewall is $308 a month for the 2 firewalls that cover all of your, and that's a 36-month term. But we could always do. Can we always do a 60-month if they wanted them to be?
We can make them concurrent if we need to be. The problem is with firewalls are what protect you guys from the outside world, and even to some extent, protect the outside world from you or somebody that gets to you via the firewall. They cover antivirus, a lot of those other things that it's critical. It's a must-have. It's a non-negotiable. You need to have firewalls. They need to be up to date at some point. It's almost as just a necessity. So firewall's critical. We'll leverage the 2 firewalls in order to make a secure connection between the phones here and the phones at the emergency building. So they'll be a part of the phone system quote, but they're separate in terms of what they are.
So I had one question. I just thought when you talked about emergency building firewall. How easy is it going to be if we have to move into a continuation of operation plan for the courthouse, the emergency building, to set us up temporarily somewhere? I mean, next gen, we got that taken care of on 911, but I'm talking about the courthouse administrative lines. What would it take to get us moved? I'm talking time-wise.
Yeah,
I understand there'd be expenses and stuff. It's not part of the contract, but.
it depends on what your emergency setup is. When we did Thomas County, for instance, we put in a really small system that was equipped with X number of phone ports and line ports that I think Tom already has provision for there. So when they go into emergency mode, they can basically take 10 phones, go down there, plug them in, forward the calls, and they're running. Some people might want a crash kit and say, hey, we don't know for sure what building we're going to, but
Yeah,
we might
that's
go.
what
And we can, with the SIP trunk, we have some flexibility in terms of how we can forward and port numbers out of there, especially with the system. So we can develop a crash kit, we can forward. We've got some mobility options. So with our system, we can give you your phone, your office phone, on your smartphone. Or I can give you your phone on your iPad or on a laptop. We've got those mobile clients to where, hey, we got to go, we're doing this thing, we can go mobile, we can go with a ready-made crash kit, or we can go with kind of the hybrid like Thomas County did. So it's really, we try and customize them based on how you guys are going to execute your plan.
That's flexible enough to go anywhere in town or even to Birch City.
Yeah, you can,
The capabilities are endless. I mean, if your desk phone, if you had the SIP phone and your desk, if you were talking on your desk phone and somebody handed you a piece of paper and said you need to go to the M building, you just hit a button, it transfers to your cell phone, you walk out, get your pickup, drive off, you're still on that call.
Like I said, I'm
it's
going
just
over the COOP plans right now. That's why it's on my mind.
Yeah.
Like, how flexible is it to?
We just basically turn either your iPad or your phone into your desk phone.
yeah. And if we need to go into pure disaster mode, assuming that we're not going to have this facility, then that might be a different operating procedure. But there's, based on the hybrid nature of our system, we're pretty flexible with what we can do to move calls around. And if we have inclement weather, you guys can call in remotely and say, hey, the courthouse isn't going to be open until 10 o'clock today because of inclement weather, and you can do that from your house.
Yep.
So, and
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
With voicemail and messaging, really all the magic's kind of in the back closet, so to speak. You know, the voicemail, the email, and some of those features are just really, really handy. And so you don't really have to be staring at your phone to wait for something to happen. But with today's systems, every county's a little bit different and they're set up a little bit different. But, you know, really in terms of how you want to handle your calls and how your different departments all operate differently, but on the same system, we've been down that road several times. And if there's a call scenario or something that they can dream up, we can pretty much do it.
The only question I have is AT&T is going to bring the line in under this?
Eagle.
Or is Eagle going to bring it in?
No.
currently AT&T has a fiber connection here.
Currently.
Eagle's offering for fiber was way cheaper than AT&T, so you guys play nice. You want to use Eagle's fiber to put your phone system in here?
Well, it all comes down to the service, and I don't want to sound mean about the fiber piece of it, but because AT&T or Nextech or Eagle or whoever brings fiber into your building, that's great, but it's not like they're bringing you a magic connection that's gonna, walk your dog for you and make you look 10 years younger. That's just the media that we're using to deliver service to the building. You're still getting, X amount of megabits of internet. You're still getting some type of phone service, whether it's regular POTS, plain old analog service, SIP trunking, whatever. It's just a medium, but you're still getting a normal internet type service. So don't get too caught up in just the fiber piece of it. It's all about the service. So if you go with Eagle and put it on one of our systems, you'd have to look at a SIP trunk based service with them. And they're probably not a telco class provider for SIP trunking, so it wouldn't be anything that I would recommend or say this is our best option, because they're not a Nextech, they're not an AT&T when it comes to voice delivery. So it's up to you guys. I mean, you're the customer at the end of the day, but we would do it, but it probably wouldn't be the ideal scenario.
Okay.
So is the fiber for AT&T is already here, right? Okay. And then for Eagle is a question of laying different fiber. Try to break this down. Okay.
You're doing good.
And then there is a difference in the data that can be delivered between the two fibers, between AT&T and Eagle. Correct or not correct?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know. Did
I
you
may-
follow
I'm
that
just
Is it the
question?
same speed?
I don't
Is
know
it
what
at the
Eagle-
same speed?
That's what I'm
Oh.
asking.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
That's what I'm asking.
There can be.
Okay.
I mean, it can be whatever you want it. 10 meg is the lowest that AT&T will give us.
Okay.
We're currently at 20. We really should have 50.
Okay. So if we don't go with the new Eagle line, we also need to look at upgrading our AT&T fiber. That's what I was getting.
Which is
Okay.
just a keystroke.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But that will cost money.
It actually, I have those quotes. It changes monthly, and it's been going down because AT&T acquired who recently? They just bought a big company.
Not there.
Anyway, they bought a big company
Yeah.
and less competition. They had to lower their rates. So, or maybe somebody else bought something. Anyway, the rates went down, so I haven't got current quotes, and the reason DID lines, we kind of discussed getting better quotes on that, and I just haven't done it.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway is that what you have now for internet and phone service, and that's local, long distance and internet, based on respinning those and getting SIP trunking quotes and upgrading internet, we're going to get a lot more for a lot less. That's the bottom line, and that's really the takeaway. And that savings gap that we're making on service, hopefully we can offset that internal equipment and then have the capital to put back towards the network and some of those things. So I don't know that we can get every single thing done, but we can cut a huge dent in it. So it's a tremendous opportunity, and that's based on the savings that he's gotten and pushing AT&T to requote that, so that's freeing up a lot of monthly to get a lot of other things done. So we're trying to, leverage all those things that we can. So, but the quotes, I looked at the bandwidth quotes for AT&T for internet, the SIP trunk quotes. I think we can go back and get those lowered, but they're not bad. They're actually pretty good. So,
Like I say, they have come down a little. And the difference between the 40 and the 50, I think you saw that too, was $10. So
Yeah.
it just makes sense to go to the 50 meg.
and I haven't seen what Eagle's quoting specifically, so I could begin to comment on what they're offering. But I did think the AT&T pricing was pretty good. We're saving a lot of money.
And it's in here. I mean, that's
Yeah,
worth
it's
a
already
lot.
here.
So, and we do have a year contract left with them, so roughly. I don't know the exact dates, but
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Any other questions? Well, we'll look it over then.
Great.
All right,
Thank you guys for
guys.
having us.
Coming out.
Do you guys need an extra copy of this? You won't mind? Or do you have?
Did you want a copy?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, thank you, whatever you
Do you want me to leave it? I was gonna say, do you have one for sure?
yeah.
Okay.
If you don't want to take it back, I'll take it.
No, it's good. Well, just in case somebody changes their mind.
And I get a
It's not that I don't want to take it, but I have it saved everywhere on the server
kinda the way
and
I
desktops.
Sorry, you got me spelling it wrong. DARREN.
Oh, yeah, and my contact info is on the quote, but Darren,
Yeah, I
yeah.
got yours. Okay.
I mean, if you guys have any questions or need any breakdown or anything, don't hesitate to let me know, and we can, if we need to come back, we'll come back.
Yep.
I know technology is probably not the most fun thing that you guys have to do, but it's definitely important. so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit older than you.
Today's world.
He looks way younger than he is, though, so don't let him fool you.
I was gonna say, when you said you've been in the business, how long?
yeah.
2 years.
Well, he started when he was 7.
He fools everyone, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I'm 45.
Wow.
I don't have kids at home anymore.
Holy cow.
I'm an empty nester.
Oh,
Oh, so
Yeah.
will the gray hair all quit when my kids go to college here in 6 years?
No, but you'll start having money in your pockets.
We were just
I
having
don't
this
know what I'm gonna do
conversation.
then.
I know, I've got two in daycare still, so I'm like at the total
you guys.
opposite point. So
Let's
thanks
go.
to meet
Thanks, John.
everybody,
Yeah.
we appreciate it and
Yep.
stuff, so
Well, you're
thank you
good.
for
Well,
having
thank
us.
you.
Right?
Have a great day, drive safe.
Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry. Oh, catch you. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Now you know why one of the dispatch director understood technology. Because I don't understand any of it.
No, I don't either.
So we already have the AT&T fiber into the building,
It would be a matter of upgrading it.
so.
You should probably, to me, the big difference between the two is what kind of phone service you want. If you want a VoIP service, or if you want more of a
see
traditional,
your
and I'm
bid,
sure, Eric will be able to give you some recommendations for what he thinks is better or worse.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna boil down to me. I got people scheduled here. I didn't realize we were gonna take so long, so I got Boogie. And you've only got one bid.
Yeah, there's only one person that did, Ron Wilson.
Ron Wilson.
Ron Wilson. I got another copy if you guys want to look at it. Real quick, I only have 3 copies. I didn't make one for everybody. You can look at the original one I talked. We put out a bid for that remodel. We're moving the judge's bench, putting down the new carpet, putting up the cabinets and stuff.
Right.
We got one bid. I did do a little bidding myself, looking at, the magical thing. If we have time, we have many people in the office who have the skills to do it.
Right.
Then I said, we never have the time to do it. Ron's bid is not out of line with what I got for the materials.
Okay.
Same bid. I went to Home Depot and some other place and bid some materials and stuff just to kind of double check if we did it ourselves.
Same thing.
So, yeah, they're all the same. So, like I said, it's only bid. The only thing that's not included on here, we decided if we're gonna rip out the carpet and, put down new carpet and put up those shelves, we might as well paint the room too while we're there. So, he's gonna give me another update for painting, or we might paint it ourselves, I don't know. But we just kind of figured that if we were gonna go through all that, why not paint the pig as well? I was not going to carpet in my office. But Shelley talked to me and begged me to carpet my office. She showed me that the padding underneath is rotten. And as she vacuums, the vacuum sucks the carpet.
Right
She goes,
through, right?
if you're gonna carpet up here, could you please recarpet your office as well? So it's included on there too. That's where you see the 2 room carpet for the 2 rooms. And we still have to pick the carpet. He gave us a high estimate on the carpet. He's gonna bring some samples in first to pick the actual carpet one. He wanted us to bid it
Don't
on
go
the
too
high
far,
end.
Eric.
He wanted to bid it on the high end. I don't think there's really much of a decision to be made since we only have one bid, and a reminder that this is gonna come out of the drug trust fund, not out of any budgetary items. So, I'm thinking about calling him and telling him,
Get her going.
get her going.
Okay.
So.
You guys are okay with that? Rodney?
Pardon?
You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Any questions or anything?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, we'll start making noise then.
All right. Thanks,
I
sir.
have a copy in the clerk's office.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all your help yesterday.
Anytime.
Okay, Eric, what is the apples to apples on this? What should we do as far as the, which is cheaper, better?
Let me talk to Darren a little bit more. At this point, I really think, I don't know, I was really leaning towards Eagle because they were bringing fiber, but the over-the-top service, this guy's knows a lot more about things than I do, so.
So you can present it next meeting and tell us what to do.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I've got 2 things.
Oh,
The October 17th through the 19th, I need to be in Wichita for APCO.
okay.
And I have to be the GIS steward for the county. I tried to get out of it and they wouldn't let me. So I have to go to a meeting on Monday. If I'm gonna go Monday, I just as well stay for the whole seminar.
And it's actually really Association of Public Communication Officers. That's what it stands for.
This is the Kansas department of it.
Okay.
Next year, it's in the whole thing's in Denver, the national, and I'll probably try to attend that as well.
What's the cost of that, do you think?
$75 for the meeting and registration, and I don't.
I think we send somebody almost every year. It's like maybe a $400 total.
Okay, so it's not a per
It's not
lot.
outrageous.
Okay.
Okay.
And I need about 10 minutes of executive session. Did you have something? Mine can wait till the end.
No, I didn't know if you guys discussed it anymore on time stuff.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
You want me to do my executive session real quick?
That's fine, go ahead.
Yeah, just grab the
What
door.
what is it, what is the purpose?
It'll be non-elected personnel.
Okay.
and 7 minutes. We can adjourn it 5 after.
Okay.
Make a motion that we go into executive session for non-executive personnel.
Elected, yeah. That's- All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
So we're at